Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Pajama Joe here with another fragrance review. Today it's kind of like it's actually a scorcher around here, so I decided to go with something a little bit of a nicer aquatic. I went with Mandarino di Amalfi by Tom Ford. I only have a sample vial of this, but there's actually a lot of juice in these sample vials. I have like 10 or 12 of these sample vials of Tom Ford fragrances. They're all really, really nice. I think I like the Neroli Forte a little bit better than this one. That's probably why I have a full bottle of that, and it lasts a little bit longer, and it kind of projects a little bit of a stronger scent. But that's not the fragrance I'll be reviewing today. Today I'll be reviewing Royal Mayfair by Creed. So that's Creed's Royal Mayfair. I have a fair amount of experience with this particular fragrance, and I find it to be one of the top 6 or 7 finest fragrances in my collection. Um, I think it is very, very good. Um, the fragrance came out in 2015, and the perfumer's name is Oliver Creed. The top notes are British gin and Scottish Highland pine. The heart notes are Duke of Windsor roses, and the base notes are Bahamian orange and Canadian cedarwood and Australian eucalyptus. This is what the bottle looks like. It's got a very nice velvet sticker on the front of it here. It says Creed right here on the top here. Um, I'll tell you what I think about how this thing performs. It is a beast mode of a fragrance. It lasts 8+ hours on the wear with about 2 to 3 sprays, maybe like one on each side of the neck and one in the chest. Easily 8 hours, maybe even more. And it projects a good 2.5, 3 feet away from your body. Like, I would not suggest to overdo it with this particular fragrance. But I have a slight rant with the house that comes with an understanding. We had made a trip out to Las Vegas to the Creed boutique, and when we had went from San Diego to Las Vegas, it was specifically to research and experience fragrances that they carried in the stores there. And we had made a deliberate visit to the Creed boutique to see if they carried any fragrances that the stores in the area we were living at carried. And it's sad to say that there wasn't. Everything that they carried in the Creed boutique was either exactly the same as what they carried in the stores in San Diego or less. So it was kind of a drag. And then to add insult to injury, the people in that store weren't really the nicest people in the world. I was talking to this girl that worked there, and I was telling her that yeah, we're really big in fragrance enthusiasts, and we really love to research and I was talking to her about that stuff, and she just sort of like ignored us, and she actually walked out of the store and went and sat down somewhere and started doing something on her cell phone, and we were like, that's kind of rude to be doing, when somebody wants to talk to you about what you're what you're selling, and you don't even show any kind of interest. But the understanding part is that I understand that it's Las Vegas, and I'm sure that they get some very unique individuals walking into those stores in Vegas. But to be an employee at the store, I would take it with a grain of salt with what kind of people that go in there, because we kind of like didn't give off an impression to say that we were interested in anything except fragrances when we were in the store. And she still, it was a drag. The Creed boutique experience was definitely a drag. But the very next day, in the morning time, we went to a completely different store that just sort of well rounded out the whole trip. She was super, super nice. And we actually gave her a sell that day. We purchased Blackberry and Bay by Joe Malone from that lady. Um, but we're not the kind of people that go into a store and don't expect to purchase anything, really. But I'm sure that in that town, you get a lot of people who aren't like that. So it's sort of it's probably not the greatest town to be to be around. I really didn't think much of the Vegas trip, but it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the fragrances that Creed puts out. The quality of these fragrances are outstanding, absolutely spectacular. I really have nothing negative to say about the Creed fragrances. Um, the Royal Mayfair, when I had first smelled it, it was like it gave off sort of a medicinal uh, type um, vibe from this. But after experiencing this fragrance for a little while and after letting my sense of smell get used to what this fragrance does, that medicinal sort of goes away because my nose is so used to the actual scent that this is that there is no medicinal that I had that first day that I had smelled this. So I don't know what that's about, but what the main player in this is definitely the eucalyptus. Um, it is super super nice when that orange and rose comes out of the base, because that's pretty much what I think that this is. It should be eucalyptus in the heart and then rose and orange in the base, because after that eucalyptus dies down, then that orange and rose comes out right before the scent dissipates, and it is super fine. I gotta say, this is one of the nicest fragrances that I own, for sure. Well, that's all the time I'm going to be talking about fragrances for today. I'm going to try to get in another review here pretty soon about some of the newer acquisitions in my collection. Um, but as far as things go, Creed is the bee's knees when it comes to fragrances, without a shadow of a doubt. The next best thing I would say that can probably hold a candle to the type of quality in this fragrance is probably the Boyas de Portugal and maybe the Arofa. Virgin on Water is kind of good too, but I think that those two are probably within the same standing as this. And then right under that would probably be the Royal Water and the Green Irish Tweed. Not everybody agrees with me with that one, I'm sure, because a lot of people love those fragrances, but just Creed in general, just to have one is it's like a privilege to experience. It really is. So I'm not saying that this Creed is better, but to me, this one is attracted to my sense of smell just a little bit more than those other ones. I think. As far as I know, this specific fragrance has been vaulted already, which is interesting because they had just done a shift of the whole bottle style and everything, and already it's vaulted as far as my research goes. So that's pretty interesting. But it's kind of a drag because that means that if I run out of this, then I won't be able to purchase another one unless they reintroduce it into the stores. But all in all, it's a good one. Um, so whichever Creed is your signature scent, I mean, I'll tell you, it's a whole lot better than some of some other things out there. That it all just depends on your preference of, I guess, of which of those fragrances that you like. So this one is is definitely the one I prefer to smell to smell like for sure. Um, that is all the time I'm going to be talking about fragrances today. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Have a nice day, everybody.